So I've totally lost track on what day it is and everything. But one thing that's definitely been an issue lately is today and the last day I worked last week is just being exhausted. I work Monday through Friday as a driver, usually like 3 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And for the past several weeks, even before we started building this, clearing out this little piece of ground and getting rock dumped here and then having to spread the rock and level it and all that kind of stuff. So I've been going right now compared to what it would have cost a year ago or whatever. And just getting $100 to death. I mean, I go to buy one little thing and next thing you know I'm spending $100. The electric line, as expensive as it was, bring the 220 from the house to the building, we checked on the price. We had a pretty accurate idea of how much line we would need, and we decided not to buy it until the building was set in place, so we would know exactly, because it costs so much per foot, we would know exactly how much it would cost. So in that couple weeks, that price for that same amount of line went up an additional $100. So just tired of money, and I mean tired of spending money, and I'm tired in general, and I've been making some mistakes, and I'll show you what kind of mistakes I've been making. Stop recording. Okay, it might seem small, but you can tell the stuff here the last weekend or two that I'm doing at the end of the day, 8 or 9 o'clock, when I'm hot, tired, and hungry and ready to go, making this mistake. I cut out the hole. I was a little bit off cutting out the hole on that. It's not that big of a deal, but it just aggravates me. I will see that every time I come in this building for the rest of the time I'm working here. One very, very huge mistake. I even hate to admit this, but this right here. This is a box. See, I can't even think. Well, all the wires go together and you bundle them in there. I can't even think of what it's called right now because I'm tired and everything. I made a huge mistake, and I knew I was making a mistake when I did this. But what I did is, we had just barely had enough wire to get all the wires to join a junction box. That's what it is, to get all the wires to join together here. I wanted to put the junction box up in the attic space, so if I ever needed to get into there for any reason to add something else, or there was some issue or whatever, I could get to it. But I didn't want to go buy another 25 foot of wire to have enough wire to run this stuff just a few feet up into the attic. So I put it in there, got everything hooked up, got the wall put in place, and then several days later, that's another mistake I made. Didn't check all the outlets and everything to make sure they were working. That was a stupid mistake that I would not have made if I wasn't so exhausted. But I went to go plug in a jigsaw to one of these outlets, and it didn't work. Power coming to here, I knew all the other stuff works and the outlets didn't. I knew this was the weak spot, so I had to cut a dang hole in my wall, or take this whole paneling out, take the table apart, take, you know, all that stuff. So I cut a hole in there. Now I got to figure out a way to kind of like hide it, that junction box in there. It was a stupid mistake, but I was just so tired of everything costing so much money, and I tried to save a few dollars, and now I got this big ugly hole in my wall. That's aggravating. And if you go in here, this right here, if you could see, oh, by the way, we added this this window. Wanted to get some light in here, because if you noticed it, every time I came through here with the camera, it's been dark, but now you can see all the way through. A lot of light that added. And also, while I'm sitting in my chair, if somebody pulls up, I can just look out the window and see them. So I really like that. Before that, I would have to go outside, out the door, and look around, but that's nice. But see this right here? Can't believe I'm showing you this, but see how that gap It gets bigger and bigger and bigger all the way up through here. What I didn't do is, whenever I braced all this stuff up, the boards coming through here were shorter than the boards coming through here. Didn't stop to think, because I was so tired from just working 7 days a week, you know, with my regular job plus this for a month and a half, and out in the heat and all that kind of stuff. It just wore out. So I didn't stop to think about it. Went ahead and framed this all in, put the window in, and now there's a big old gap right there. I can fix it, I could patch it up, I can put a curtain on, I could do all that kind of stuff, but it's those type of mistakes. It's those type of mistakes that are really aggravating me. It just, you know, I've been waiting to get this shop for 3 years now, working out of the back bedroom, waiting to get a point so I can save up the money to be able to do this. And now, just kind of getting in a hurry. I had a goal in my head of having the shop working, being able to work out of it by July 1st, which is 2 weekends away, I think. And just getting in a hurry instead of just taking a break and going and doing something for a day and relaxing or sleeping in or whatever. You know, between just being tired of spending money and taking shortcuts that way, and just being tired in general and making sloppy mistakes that I wouldn't have normally made. And then, speaking of money and possibly mistakes and stuff like that, one of the things I thought about, I don't remember, I'll edit this part out if I've already said something about it in the video, but drywall versus this melamine wall. This melamine, we did my wife's shop with this wall, this type of paneling, a couple years ago, and it was $17 a panel. Now it's like $22 or $23 a panel. So that initial cost was kind of shocking. And then the strips that were on between the two boards, you know, between each of the boards, the price of them went up. I thought about drywall, because a 4x8 piece of drywall versus a 4x8 piece of melamine, the drywall is absolutely cheaper. But with the drywall, then you got to get the tape, and you got to get the mud, and then you got to get the paint, and depending on what kind of paint you get, you might have to get primer, and then you got all the sanding, and you got all that other stuff, and the time involved to do all that. And the mess of sanding the drywall and all that kind of stuff. We did our house. It came out good, you know. Of course, it took us a lot longer than somebody that does drywall for a living, but I thought maybe, and I didn't figure it out in detail, which is something I should have done, but I just was thinking, yeah, this is more per panel than a 4x8 sheet of plywood, drywall, but then by the time you add the tape and the mud and the paint and all that kind of stuff, it probably comes out about the same price. And I don't have the mess and the time consumption of sanding and painting and letting the paint dry, and so I went with this. I don't know. I wish, instead of putting these strips on here, these strips, even like getting a screwdriver and running it down there to kind of spread them out to make the panels go longer. It takes longer to put the strip in than it does to mark the boards for the outlets or windows or whatever and cut them all out and get them ready to put in. It takes longer to put these stupid strips in. I wish I would have just put these boards up and then came along with regular molding, like if you see paneling in a house or trailer or something, how it's got the strips of molding between each panel. I wish I would have done that. That would have been a whole lot quicker. I could have just put the paneling up, and put this melamine paneling up, and then once I got it all up, I could have just came along, cut the molding to height, and then just went through and nailed it on each section. I think if I was going to do the melamine, if I'm going to do melamine again in the future for anything, that's the way I'm going to go. I'm tired of those stupid strips. And then doing it up on the ceiling like we did, my wife and a friend of ours did that while I was doing other stuff, and that's just I'm not doing that again. I'm sure the people that put this up for a living, they probably got all the secrets in the world and could just whip it up there, but that's not what I do for a living. So yeah, I'm just tired, man. I just want to take a break. I'd like to take a weekend to go do something. I'm trying to get this done and then take a vacation. I got my first order, the materials for my first order that's going to be done in this shop. That's just part of the material, the hammock body and a few little things, but I'm still waiting on other stuff that hasn't even shipped yet and everything. So I'm trying to get this done and then take a vacation. What I'll probably do is work on that the weekend before. Instead of taking a 7-day vacation, I'll just take like Monday through Friday, work on that the Saturday and Sunday before vacation, go on vacation Monday through Friday, and then work on that again, so I won't start getting behind. But I'm squeezing in a vacation. I'm going to do some camping and everything. I'm just tired. I don't even want to come out here. I'm out here myself today, and I just want to go to bed, man. I brought my things out here. These are going to hang. My hammock's going to be hanging from the wall. One here and one over in that wall. And it's really tempting. 2 bullets, 3 bullets on each side, and just take these and hang them up and hang my hammock up here and just call it a day. But I got stuff to do. So today we put that window in, and I'm going to trim this here. So I was originally going to, I'm putting melamine on the face of this 2x4, and I was originally going to have this overlap the bottom piece, but I've changed my mind now. I'm going to trim this off so it's level, and I spent some more dang money and bought some corner pieces that are paintable. I'm going to paint them. They're already white, but it's just primered. I got to paint them white. So I'm going to put the melamine on here, overlap that corner, holding all the way along the edge of the table and on the back side of the table and everything, because I don't want the fabric, to ever get caught on a little splinter or a little burr or something like that. So I'm going to put this melamine on here. I'm going to glue it in place. I got all my clamps there. After I trim that board off, trim this melamine off right through here. Then I'm going to cut the melamine strips to go along the edges and glue it, clamp it, get all that done, and then cut the pieces, the corner molding. And whenever I cut those pieces, I'm going to take I got to paint the inside of those 2x4s, because the melamine wall, of course, is only going to come to right here. So I'm going to paint the inside of this white like I did the other windows. And while that's why I want to cut this corner molding first. So while I'm painting that white, I can also paint the corner molding and already have it cut to fit in place. And I brought my computer out here to make sure we got a little Wi-Fi booster from the house, and making sure I can get Wi-Fi signal. It's working. It's jumping up and down. Right now it's got a pretty strong signal. Well, now it just dropped down to where it's kind of a weak signal. But just have to see. Might need a better booster or something. But I'll have my printer and all that kind of stuff out here too, so I can ship my orders from here and everything. But that's it. I am just tired. Just need a break. We started it with the insulation. Is starting to sag down pretty good, so I quit putting that up because I need to get the boards ready to put the interior ceiling here, and the longer I let these hang, the more they're going to start sagging, and the harder it's going to be to put it up. But that's it. I'm going to get that done, or get this melamine done, and so the table will be finished and I can start moving stuff out here around the sewing area. And then I still got to mark where I'm going to cut my hole to get up here to keep my camping stuff, and start framing out the 2x4s that are going to block off that end and this end. And then I still got 2 outlets I got to cut out the holes for. There's going to be an outlet there, an outlet here, and an outlet here. This top outlet is going to go for, there's going to be another one of those lights that are up there hanging here. Because at night, I've noticed, it's kind of, we got the ceiling fan light up there, and we got those 2 lights over here, but over here it kind of gets a little bit dark, so I want to put another drop light here. And I got some old sewing machines. I think I'm going to build a shelf while I'm blocking that off to put the sewing machines there, and there's a couple more I'd like to collect, buy them to keep them. And I think I got an old treadle machine in the house I'm working on restoring, and I think I might set that right there. So that's it. I've been babbling. Gotta go. So just to catch up on what we've got done, this is the back room. As you can see, we've got the flooring done, got all the paneling done, our window that we added in. I don't remember last time when I was filming if I said something about that, but we added a window in the back room. This panel here, we just screwed it in place. That way if we need access to add some more circuits or something, we can just pull that whole panel off. This door is gonna be blocked off. I'm gonna insulate it. Painted the inside of this wall white, add some more, make it brighter and all that good stuff in here. And then up here, got a little trap door to get to my camping stuff. It's all insulated and everything, this piece of paneling, and it overlaps the opening several inches, so that keep it all nice and insulated up there. Still got to put the ceiling in up here, and then still got to figure out what I'm gonna do with all my shelving and all that kind of stuff back here. But in here we got all the lofts insulated. We're making a opening for the door up here, and then we're going to put this same melamine over the front of this opening all the way down to here, and do the same thing up there. I don't plan on using this, but just in case I ever do decide to use it, we're going to put a door there, that way we can get in. This loft has got the trap door, so that's not an issue. But it's pretty much getting close to being done. Our last big project after we do the melamine up in the lofts is putting the ceiling in up here. And when I added that ladder, there's also a couple rungs that go up into the attic. That way you can climb the ladder all the way up there. And there's a lot of rungs, but what I did is I took the measurements off of one of our ladders and just went with that. And what we're going to do for the melamine, because that's a whole lot of measurements and getting everything right to do all those little angles. So I got this big roll of paper. We're going to set it up there, staple it in place, make a pattern, bring it back down, and cut the pieces out. So that's it. That's where we're at now. And finally getting close to being finished. So I'm up here in the loft above the sewing machine table. And like I said, I don't plan on keeping anything up here, but right now we just got the scraps of the melamine and stuff. This is where the door opening is going to be. And what I did when I cut, when I put the melamine on top of the roof, I put these cross boards here, and the melamine on the roof angles up and then angles again and then comes straight across where the ceiling fan's at. I did that so that you could have an airway going from this loft to the other loft. That allows the heat to get up through the roof caps and everything. That allows the heat to escape up there. That's why I did that, and that goes all the way through. You can probably see the light coming from the other side. And I will probably at some point put a vent there on the peak of this end and on the other end to really allow that air to go through. That's kind of my plan. That extra vent on each end to be later, but so when I initially built it, I wanted the air to be able to escape, and if I block this off completely on both ends, then all this air wouldn't have anywhere to go to get out, all this hot air. So that's why I did that the way I did it. My wife's out there cutting, making the she's making the door for that loft there, and I got some 1x2s I'm going to put up here to support this, because the way all this insulation is sagging, support that. And the roof that we're going to do is it's like a thin well, I'll show you, it's like a foil type stuff, about 1/4 inch thick, so that won't support the weight of this. I just didn't feel like buying any more melamine to put up here, and the hassle of trying to get that on the roof and get those tracks and get it in those tracks and everything, and cut out all these outlets, I mean light bulb fixtures. I just didn't feel like screwing with it, so we got that foil type insulation in the garage, in our attic of the garage. It works out pretty good. That's what I'm going to do with that. But I'm going to cut these strips here for supports to hold that insulation up. So this is where we're at now. I was hoping to be up and running by July 1st. Today is July 4th. We're going to start moving stuff in here today, and then be ready to run by after today. I've got my first order in the new shop sitting there. So we got sewing table done, got the loft closed off and everything, and we're gonna paint around the edge of that door and the silver hinges and everything, paint them white so they kind of blend in a little bit better. As you can see, we got this side done too, and we'll put the molding in to cover up all the gaps there where the pieces of paneling meet, to make that all pretty. And back room is done except for putting the ceiling on. We got to put that up, but for now we're going to quit doing everything and then get moved in here and get all this stuff picked up and cleaned up, and then move in here so we can start working. And I want to finish all the rest of the stuff just a little bit at a time, as we have time. I got one of the hooks to hang my hammock up there. Still got to hang the other one up here, but that's it. We're gonna get this cleaned up, get it moved. It's good enough for now. Everything's all insulated, all the paneling's up and everything. It's time to start moving in so we can get stuff done, so we can get everything the business up and running again and everything. And then we'll just work on all the molding and different things like that in our free time here and there to finish that up. And same way with putting the around the panels around the outside, the like underpinning type stuff around the outside of the building. We've got to do that in our spare time here and there. But I just wanted to say thanks to, of course, my wife, our friend Betty, and my dad, who all helped us out on this at different parts. And I'm going to make a video once we get everything all in here and set up, and the shelves and everything the way we want it. I'll make another video making like the shop tour video of it when it's all done. But that's it for now. We're just time to get to work. Not work on the building, but actually work on making hammocks and tarps and all that good stuff. And I definitely cannot forget to thank everybody that supported us for the past 3 years. Without the business, without your business, I wouldn't be able to do this. I know I've said it before that not moving into a multi-million-dollar commercial building with hundreds of employees or anything like that, you know, but this is a big change from what we had. The space that we had in the house to do the work was about the space of that small room back there, and so now to get all this extra space up here, it's pretty nice. And definitely want to thank everybody that's bought from us and everything, and had confidence in us to be able to build, you know, especially your custom orders and everything like that. So we do appreciate it. Thanks.